So, as seen from the title, okay, if you wish to try all this question out, feel free to pause the video now, scroll down to the description and download the paper to test it out first. So, this is the warning. Without further ado, let's get started. The first question that I'm going to cover is actually from May-June 2013, set 42. Okay, this question is question 11. Okay, question A is pretty straightforward. Okay, so I'm using Pythagoras theorem to solve this question. OP1 squared plus P1 P2 squared equals to OP2 squared. By running the calculation, getting rid of the square, your answer should be square root 10. Okay, so for part B, the keyword here is mathematically similar. Okay, so if you're unfamiliar with this concept, okay, there's a link in the right hand corner. You can click on it and watch the mathematically similar topic video first. So you will be comparing both sides of the right angle triangle. Okay, since they are not area or volume, okay, they are just side, you're not required to do any changes. Okay, just basic comparison will get you the answer. So OP1 over P1 P2 is being compared to OP2 over P2 P3. Okay, so you will get 3 over 1 equals to square root 10 over P2 P3. Okay, cross multiply them, divide it by 3 to get your P2 P3 as square root 10 over 3. So for you to find the OP3, since you have the value of OP2 and P2 P3, you can now run the Pythagoras theorem to get your final answer as 10 over 3. Over at C, okay, you have two options here. Either you do the manual calculation for every single triangle that was there, or you can simply treat it as a sequence. Okay, so from square root 10 it becomes 10 over 3, which means that the term by term difference here is actually a multiplication of square root 10 over 3. Okay, so I multiply 10 with square root 10 over 3, I get my OP4 as 10 square root 10 over 9, and the next one multiply by square root 10 over 3 again, you will get your final answer as 100 over 27. As for part D, okay, this is just your basic trigonometry. So we'll be using tangent unknown, okay, which is the angle we are focusing at, equals to its opposite, which is 1, and adjacent, which is 3. By running inverse tangent, you will get your final results as 18.4. So they asked you to write down the size of angle P2 or P3. So this is the thing about mathematically similar. Okay, since they are mathematically similar, all the angle will be the same. So there's actually no calculation required for this. Okay, so you get your final answer as 18.4 as well. So part 3 is actually the tricky part again. So as you all know, a full circle will get you 360 degrees. Okay, so the things that I did was to take 360, divide by 18.4. You will get your answer as 19.5, etc. But since they mentioned they don't want it to overlap, so I rounded down into 19. Okay. However, this is not the end. So you actually need to focus at the angle. So I actually label it down 1, 2, 3, 4 over there. Okay, which means the last triangle, okay, we have a 19 labeled down. So 19, I trace it back down. 19 is actually equals to n minus 1. So your n final value will actually be 20. So this will be the first question. Moving on to the following question, it will be from May-June 2014, set 42 again, the question 11. So this one involves area calculation, okay, and the k there you can take it like a ratio, like a fraction of the total. So it will be easier to dissect this question and solving it better. Okay, so for the first triangle there, since the side, the value of it is the same, basically you're splitting the triangle into 3 parts. So your k will actually be 1/3. Followed by the next one, okay, they asking for a specific sector of the circle. Okay, so just take 72 divide by 360. Okay, then you will get the fraction, okay, or k's value as 1/5. Followed by the next one, okay, this usually appear in your mathematically similar question. Okay, so to make your calculation easier, I actually introduce a unknown, which is EG equals to x and EF equals to 1/2x. The 1/2 is actually your scale factor. Okay, so when you want to convert your side into area, okay, what we normally do is to square the scale factor. So our scale factor here is 1/2. After it was being squared, it becomes 1/4. Okay, so this 1/4 will be the k's value. So for the next one, the key giveaway for this question is the keyword regular. Okay, so since it is a regular hexagon, I can then split this hexagon into 6 identical shapes. So it is actually 1/6 of the total area. For the last one, which is the trickiest among all, okay, so first thing first, I run the calculation on the side. The sector area is equivalent to x, so 90/360 times pi times r squared, you will get x. Whereby for the triangle calculation, okay, it will be half times r times r. Okay, so the difference here will result in kx. So your kx will actually equivalent to pi/4 r squared minus 1/2 r squared. So now I compare the difference, which is kx, I put at the top, and the bottom will be the total area. Okay, so I run the calculation, extracted r squared from both of them. Okay, then I run the manual calculation and get my final results as 0.363. Okay, so the trickiest one will be the sector calculation. So you can pause this video, look at the working, and slowly digest this. For the next question, okay, we have it from February-March 2016, set 42 again, and this one is question 10. So for the first question, you actually look at the triangle we was given by the question. So they gave you the total is actually 8 for the base. Okay, it is actually 8 radius that form the 8 cm. So from this, we know that the radius equals to 1 cm. Okay, so since we have the triangle there, okay, I measured half of it. The base of this triangle is 3, whereby for the side, it is 6. So they asked us for the height of this triangle. By applying Pythagoras theorem, we are able to identify the height as 3 square root 3, which is equivalent to 5.2 2. Part B is actually a continuation from part 1. Since we already know the height of the triangle at the center, okay, all you need to do to find the base to point A is to add 2 radius, okay, which is this 2 part here that I specially labeled. So your final answer will be 5.2 plus 1 equals to 7.2. Whereby for part B number 2, things about this is you have to know and identify the triangle is a equilateral triangle. So each of the corner you will have 60 degree. So I split this equilateral triangle into 6 identical parts, okay, because I need to utilize the information from the radius. By splitting it into 6 parts, I know that part of the triangle, okay, we will have a 30 degree and its opposite will be 1, which is the radius, and the base of this triangle will be set as unknown, which we are required to identify. Okay, so after the manual calculation, I get the base as square root 3. So remember, the question asks us for the volume. So by calculating the triangle that we have there, multiply it by 6, since we have 6 identical parts, multiply it by the width of 12 cm, we'll get the answer. So your final answer, 62.4. So we are at the 4th question now. So this is actually from set 42, February March 2017. This is question 10. So for the first one, we are using the interior angle formula, which we take the side, which is 6 minus by 2, multiply by 180 and divide by 6 to find each of the regular sides interior angle as 120. So for the next part, you can see that I drew down a line which form like a rectangle shape. So I know that the side value is 10 and 10. Okay, and label 2 star over there to make it clearer. Since you already know the regular side will have a 120 degree interior angle, so by forming the FE star star rectangle there, there's a 90 degree. So 120 minus by 90, you will get 30. You know that PA's value is X, okay, and the triangle that I drew there, which is the AP joining to the midpoint of PQ, is actually equivalent to the one at the top, which is PF star. So the 30 degree is shared and the value of X is also being shared. So by using trigonometry, you can now find PQ in terms of X. Okay, so F star equals to unknown and PQ is actually 2 unknown. Okay, by running the calculation, cosine 30 equals to unknown over X. Okay, because the unknown is your adjacent and your hypotenuse is X. So you get your unknown as square root 3 over 2x. So 2 unknown will be square root 3x. So question 3, a different condition was now given. They told you that PF equals to 10 minus x. Okay, since you have PF as 10 minus x, okay, I drew another triangle there. Okay, the opposite of the 30 is P star, which is unknown. Okay, and then we have PF as 10 minus x. So sine 30 equals to unknown over 10 minus x. So your unknown here, final calculation will get you half bracket 10 minus x. So your p star is actually equivalent to star s. Okay, so ps equals to p star plus 10 plus qs. You run the calculation, then you should be able to prove your ps as 20 minus x. So question part B. Okay, the key giveaway for this question is they ask you to utilize the information you gotten from part A, number 2 and number 3. So what it's trying to hint you is that you are having a square in this question, which is kn equals to kl. So they want you to try to use the information you gotten, which is pi 3x equals to 20x. Run the manual calculation and you will get x as 7.32. Okay, then substitute this back into your 20 minus x. Then you will get your answer as 12.7. Okay, so you're not being restricted. Okay, you can actually multiply this 7.32 into square root 3x as well, and you will get the same answer. As for the next question, we have the one from set 43, October, November 2017. Okay, so this one is from question 10. So they assess you on your highest common factor and lowest common multiple concept. So they give you a teaser at part A, 1 and 2. Okay, this is just some appetizer to refresh your mind on how LCM works and how HCF works. The part B is the main assessment. So key things about highest common factor is that you cannot continue the calculation after the numbers don't have the same variables that you can use to divide. So for HCF calculation, when I compare x and y, I would take a square only, which is a lesser value, and multiply with 7 to the power of 2. So this will fulfill the requirement of being a HCF. So it is equivalent to 1225. So I take 1225 divided by 7 squared. Okay, you will get a squared equals to 25. A's final value will be 5. Whereby for LCM, we try to include all the largest numbers possible. So we will have a cubed times 7 to the power of b plus 2 equals to 42,875. So by running the calculation, okay, the plus there, I split it up using the indices concept. Okay, divide everything by 7 squared. So your b's final value will be 1. However, take note on this. The question is not asking you for a and b's value. Okay, they actually want you to utilize the a and b's value you identified back to find out what is x and y. So x is actually 5 squared times 7 cubed, and y is actually 5 cubed times 7 squared. So this will be it for your question 5. So now let's enter the last one, which is from set 42, October, November 2018. This is from question 10. So part A, number 1 is pretty straightforward. Okay, all you need to do is to figure out how many seconds is there in a minute. So obviously it's 60 seconds, so multiply it by 20, then multiply it by 75,000. Then you'll be able to prove the answer as 90 million. So the next part, okay, the unit they wanted is centimeters. Okay, so you're required to find the water level drop. We know that there's 90 million liters that flows out. And this will not be given in your exam. You should know that 1 liters equals to 1000 cm cube. So you're required to run the conversion, take 90 million multiplied by 1000 first. Okay, this is to convert the waters that flows out into centimeters. Followed by dividing the entire thing with the 55 hectare that we have. So the 55 hectare, okay, the first unit conversion that they give you is to multiply it by 10 to the power of 4. This will change it into meter square. However, remember the question asks you to give the answer in centimeters. So meter square is actually 1 meter times 1 meter. So it is equivalent to 100 cm times 100 cm. You will get another 10,000 cm square. So multiply 10,000 into it again. Okay, divide it up, then you will get 16.4. Prepare for part 3. Okay, the keyword here is to identify the perimeter. So most of the students struggle to secure full marks because they stop after obtaining the arc length. Please remember, add the radius back, then only you can get the perimeter, which is 28.27. Question B, okay, pretty straightforward for part 1. Just take and substitute all the information in. You should get it as 1200 pi, okay, which is equivalent to 3769.91. And for part 2, they say smaller cone is half the volume of the original cone. Half here, if you were to take 3769.91, you will have a lot of decimals. So instead of doing that, I took my 1200 pi, okay, I written it as 600 pi over there. Instead of using the ratio that was given, which is 1 to 2, by comparing the smaller radius and the bigger ones, okay, I treat it as 1 compared to the total, which is 1 over 3, okay, equals to the unknown, which is smaller sphere area, over the total, which is 600 pi. Okay, by running the calculation, I know my smaller sphere will get me 200 pi. So 4 over 3 pi r cubed equals to 200 pi. Run the conversion, you will get your final answer as 5.31. So I hope you have a better understanding on all these most frequent asked questions. They all require very strong fundamentals and concept on the topics that was being assessed. Okay, so instead of blindly doing, try to understand each and every single step. What does it meant? What will the action lead you to? Okay, so I wish you all the best for your upcoming examination. Thank you.